So if I'm opening up my camera going, all right, I'm going to do this video and I'm thinking all about myself, then I am missing the golden opportunity to make it all about my audience. And as you become better and better at video marketing, that is the understanding. It isn't even about you. You aren't talking about you and your message and your offer for you. You're doing it for them.
Welcome to the Millionaire Maker Show, a podcast helping entrepreneurs scale their businesses online to create more time, more money, more freedom, and more impact. Now, with over 20 years of business building, coaching, and consulting experience, here's your host, author, speaker, and creator of the Millionaire Maker Funnel, Lindsay Anderson.
Welcome to this episode of the Millionaire Maker Show, a very special guest episode here. I'm going to be interviewing Miss Jaya Rose about video marketing and how to show up on video as your authentic self. But before we hop into that interview, I want to make sure that you know applications are open now for you to apply to get a complimentary Millionaire Maker Blueprint Strategy session. Now, this session is you and me on the phone for 50 minutes. I ask you a series of questions. It can get a little intense. I'll admit this phone call is not for the faint of heart, but I will ask you these questions. I might cut you off. I might cut you short. I might ask you to clarify. But if I can get the answers to these questions, then I will be able to clearly outline for you your gaps, the things that you don't see that you're going to have to overcome in your business in order to actually scale your business and have the business that affords you more time, more money, more freedom, and more impact. All you need to do is go to lindsayaa.com/coaching, fill out that application, and we look forward to seeing you on that call. Now, many people started their online business during COVID. Many people left corporate America at that time and really started to bring their expertise online. Many doctors and lawyers left their brick and mortars and they really want to scale this online business. Many people really are looking at this online business in order to be able to fuel their lifestyle and to fuel their retirement and to be able to really have this be a legacy business. Well, time is ticking, as we know, especially those individuals that are looking at a business that will support them in retirement. Time is ticking. Right now, I'm recording this in May of 2024. And the fact is, summer can be difficult. If you don't have a plan to get through the summer and make momentum through the summer, that means it's going to be pretty dead during the summer. And then what do you have? You got September and October. Those are really going to be your best ways to make sales, and then the year is over. So if you're trying to get momentum coming out of summer, that's going to be very difficult, and then it's going to be over. And now as you look at 2024 finishing up, just like all of the years before, unless you've done something different. And the fact is, most small business owners will tell you that it is much harder to build and scale a business than they had ever imagined. There's so many moving parts. There's so many things that they need to know in order to make this actually work. And so the time is now. This is your warning call. This is your sign to stop wishful thinking, stop hoping and praying, stop assuming that you're going to be delivered this business that will grow because you feel it inside of you, but you're actually not taking action. The way that you're actually going to make this work for you, the language, it is action. What does action look like? It looks like profit-producing tasks. Most people have no idea what those are. And so they spend their day hiding behind marketing, being in Canva, dilly-dallying all day, thinking that they're busy so that their ego will quiet down, but really not doing those essential tasks that they need to be doing in order to scale this business. Because it's hard and there's not like a lot of room for massive mistakes that aren't going to take you off the path to profitability by weeks, months, or even years if you make some of these mistakes. And so the fact is you need a mentor. It's extremely competitive right now with AI and everybody wants an online business. You just don't have the option to no longer get the help you need if you are a serious business owner. And this isn't just a hobby, something that's nice to have. If it's something you really need or want to take seriously, you need help. Now, that's really where the Millionaire Maker Breakthrough Strategy session comes in. It's complimentary for those individuals that make it through the application process. Now, I don't accept everybody for this call because I don't want to waste anybody's time. I'm only going to have you on this call with me if I think I can make a really big difference for you and paint out your gaps and your obstacles and the things that you need to watch out for that you don't even see. If I think I can clearly paint that out for you, we will get on a call. Otherwise, we will let you know what your next best step is. So, either way, if you're listening to this, you're struggling in your business, you need a strategy, you need a system, and you need a sales plan, make sure you fill out that application to get your complimentary Millionaire Maker Business Blueprint Strategy session with me. All you need to do is go to lindsayaa.com/coaching, fill out that application, and we look forward to seeing you on that call. Now, let's hop into today's episode. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Millionaire Maker Show. I am your host, Lindsay Anderson, and I'm so excited for today's guest. I'm interviewing Miss Jaya Rose. She is a speaker and video marketing coach for people who want to make a big impact with their work. She helps clients and students fine tune their message and get seen online as an expert with her signature story based brand method so they can effectively market their business and attract an audience who knows, loves, and trusts them. I'm so excited to bring her on today's podcast. Welcome, Jaya. So glad that you're here.
Thank you. So excited to be here.
Tell me, is it true that you went on a Grateful Dead tour instead of going to college? Is that true?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Of course it's
And
true.
how did that happen? What?
Well, I mean, this was in 1995 and the Grateful Dead was still around. It was an option. So I guess because I saw it as an option, there it was. Although I don't know if I ever would have gone to college. School was very hard for me. I mean, part of my brand story really is that I have a learning disability. I almost flunked out of high school. And I went on Grateful Dead tour because that's what aligned with something that I felt like I could have fun doing and it wasn't going to make me feel like a failure, which is all school ever did.
Yeah, I feel like building an online business, I mean, you bring up your disability, and do you mind sharing more about what that is? Because it's becoming more well known, and it is a struggle for many business owners.
No, it's so true. And in fact, I mean, for me, it's a superpower. I mean, I'm neurodivergent, I'm ADHD. I've been looking into self diagnosis with autism, even because the way that I function is so different than typical. And that's the whole thing, right? It's divergent versus typical. And it was very apparent in a mainstream institution that told me this is what success looks like. You need to, first of all, have a good memory. I have no memory. I will not, if you tell me a bunch of information, I will have zero idea, often even what you said, but I could not implement in that way. But if you showed me, I will be a master in a shorter amount of time than anyone in the room. And
There
so
you
it was
go.
like, right? It's like I had superpowers and things that I was really good at that were not highlighted at all in the institution of education. And so entrepreneurship really is not only a good fit, but the only fit. It's the only thing I've ever done since my early 20s because I couldn't be told what to do. I didn't really understand what they were saying.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, I appreciate you sharing that. I think it's an important point, and what I really, found inspiring about what you just shared was you understand your strengths and your
Mm,
weaknesses and how to really work with those as you build an online business. I think that's really pivotal for most online business owners to really get to where we're going.
absolutely. I think it's the adage of do what works for you or you can do it your own way. And I think some of that sounds cliche at this point, but it's facts and it's necessary.
Amen. Amen. All right. Well, let's go off topic, or let's get back on topic now. So, tell me, what are you in your professional space outside of going to the concerts instead of college? What are
Yeah.
you known for? What would you say you're known
Yeah.
for?
Yeah. I mean, you touched on it. It's video marketing is the overall thing that I'm known for, but specifically in that, the thing that I love is your unique brand voice. And it's kind of what we're talking about. It's the idea that you bring something unique to everything you do and your story in particular. So your lived experience and what you've taken. So the wisdom you've taken from your lived experience when you have a service based business is gold. And I think it's missed a lot in standard business education on how to take your experience and then turn it into your messaging and your niche and your brand voice. So that's what people come to me for.
Yeah, and I think it's more important now more than ever with how much competition there is coming online. Everybody wants an online business. Nobody wants to work for
Yeah.
corporate America anymore, as well as AI, that it really is the way that you're going to be able to sell high ticket offers and other services.
Mhm.
Would you concur with that?
Oh, absolutely. Because as we know, and I know you teach sales, the cornerstone is know, like, and trust. I love to say know, love, and trust because with video marketing, that's what's possible. I don't want to take the time for you to like me. I want you to know that you love me right away because I'm the type of person who you would love. And you know that there's no like barrier to entry in understanding what type of person I am, what my values are, what I say, my brand voice, but really it's like my essence, right? There's no separation between that and my business persona. And I think that's what you're saying is like, if it's really competitive or we're in competition with artificial intelligence, then
Yeah.
what can we do to stand out? And in my opinion and experience, it's to be more human and to create that connection because the human experience desires belonging and connection over anything.
Yes, and I would say, yeah, that's what the bots don't
Wow.
have over us. They don't know this humanness, which is really how I feel that the online space is going. Was there like a time or a pivotal point in your life where you realized, no, this way of marketing is not the way? You actually have to bring your story in, and the more I do that, the better things go. Was there an experience there that changed you?
Yeah, my first year online, well, actually, my very first year online was fitness because I was a personal trainer for 12 years. I had my own little fitness studio in Portland. And that's what I was doing, making 30 grand a year, really living what I would say below my potential because I didn't know that there was a different option. And when I found out about the online space is when I started doing video. It was really one of the first things I started doing. So I actually realized right away that storytelling and being authentic were important for building a brand. I think more so the thing that I had to unlearn was this whole uh, pushing hustle culture that you had to be, it is almost robotic in a way that it's like, okay, be yourself in the front end, but then be like kind of manipulative in the back end. And to me, it's tried and true all the way through that authenticity is the thing. Do you see what I'm saying? So on the front end, I think I always understood that. But the way that I saw other people doing business and being really like bro Marlsy, I was just very turned off by. And I tried it and it burnt me out within like 6 months. And I was like, okay, no, ew, I don't want to do this.
So then what did you do? So you're doing all the bro marketing and you're doing the hard selling and it doesn't matter who this person is and we're just sell, 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 sell.
Yeah.
And that wasn't working for you. So what? Are you just like, I'm gonna just get on video and I don't care what people think? Like what's walk me
Yeah.
through what you were thinking.
Okay, so there was a big shift that happened for me, and more so the bro marketing was about pushing yourself in business, and I felt very
Okay.
burnt out by it. So I was following this model where they're like 5 day launch. You're going to send this email on this day. This so like the super structured sort of canned way of doing things. That's what I tried, and it did not work for me because I felt so burnt out. And so, really, I mean, this is Jaya style. I burn everything down. I'm just like, that, I don't like that. And so, really, that's what I did. I had a launch that did not go as planned. It was for a program called Rock Your Videos. And this program I had done many times, but I had put it into a digital home study program from being a live group program. And I did the way that they said to sell it. I used Facebook ads. I did the short launch. And I was like, oh, there was no room for the humanness. There was no room for creativity, inspiration, for me to just show up organically. It felt way too structured. That was the
And
core
so
issue I had.
that makes sense. So what does your marketing and sales process look like now? If you're
Yeah.
do you not launch, what does that look like?
Yeah. Well, when I do launches, first of all, they're 2 weeks. So, like, for example, I just hosted a workshop last week called Creation Queen about how to batch out your video content. And I ended up having emergency surgery in the middle of the launch. Now, this is a perfect example, number one, of needing to have video content batched out because I couldn't do any for like a week. And not only that, I had such leeway in my launch period because I gave myself 2 weeks to launch it, that I still had a week to launch it when I got back. Still ended up, selling 47 spots into my workshop, which I was very happy with and so grateful that it wasn't this like structured little canned experience of a launch. So, number one, just adding more time. And if that means that I launch less often in a year, then so be it. I would much rather have a good experience selling and be really happy about what I'm doing and inspired to talk about it than it coming from that forced push place.
And again, it goes back to you knowing what works for you, making sure
Yeah.
like it is imperative that people enjoy this small business journey. You cannot
Yeah.
show up every day hating what you have to be doing all the time. And so, what
Yeah.
I really appreciate with what you're saying is like, no, this is how I want to run my life and how I run my business, and your business can work around you.
That's right.
I
That is
like that.
absolutely right. It's a paradigm shift, right? It's people first business. It's people over profit. And I
Mm.
believe that, like I said, I think a lot of people say that on the front end, but the values on the back end don't or behind the scenes don't really align with that. And to me, that means people first means me first. How can I have a people first model if I'm not putting myself first? That doesn't make any sense.
I love that. I love that. Well said. Well said. Okay, let's talk about video marketing now. Your real specialty, storytelling and video marketing. Would you say your specialty is more short form video or long form video or what or both?
Yeah, both. I mean, my first program was Rock Your Videos, and that was live video. I was teaching Facebook Live because that was really the mode that was available at the time. And then TikTok came out. And for the last 3 years, I've been heavy on the short form. I'm probably better at the short form now because I'm more practiced at it. But absolutely, I believe in long form, YouTube videos or live video. When I'm launching something, I will definitely do live trainings on Facebook with Facebook Live.
Okay. Okay. So when it comes to just short form video, what are the top 3 obstacles that you see people really face when they're going out, make 30 days of 90-second talking head reels as a business owner? Go.
Yeah.
What are their main
Oh,
obstacles here?
I mean, the first thing is always going to be the fear of being seen. This is going to be an underlying subconscious fear that when you start to think about being visible and the power of short form video, because we all hear it, whether it's Instagram or TikTok, there is potential to go viral and get in front of so many more people than your brain can even really understand. And it certainly is going to affect your nervous system. So even if you're being held back, I'm always going to address, well, how does it feel to be on stage in front of thousands of people who are loving your message? If that feels resistant, that's going to come out in your short form videos. So we want to address it. And I like to address things through action. So we're going to take the action, we're going to notice the resistance, and we're going to be nice to ourselves. And you're going to create a new neural pathway and a new experience in your nervous system. So a little bit like go to the edge, see the edge, reinforce safety again and again. And that's how we do it. So there you go. There's all the
I like that.
secrets for that one. So the second one is going to be strategy. It's going to be messaging because messaging, like I just did a 90-minute intensive with a gal before this. And the thing she said to me is the thing everybody says to me, which is, I don't know how to express the value of my offer.
Okay.
And it means literally like express. So, how do we talk about our work in a way that, like I know you talk about, Lindsay, not being salesy, but in a way that really speaks to the hearts of the ideal people? And so that is going to be something that feels challenging to most people to do that in a succinct way, right? Because that's what short form video is going to ask you to do.
That's right. So
Yeah.
what's your tip for that? How do we do that? Like, give me a
Yeah.
tip about I need to record this video and I need to be succinct about it.
Okay. So, I mean, the tip is this, especially because a lot of people who have service based businesses are going to lean into education. And education is great. I mean, I'm a huge educator as well. Really, if you're a coach, teacher, it's parallel. It needs to become parallel because you need to give some value in your videos. But the thing to think about is how to take what you're going to teach and think about what's going to become possible because of it. I'll give you an example. So if I'm going to teach somebody how to get over their fear of being seen, then I'm not going to start the video by saying, here's 3 tips to overcoming your fear of being seen. Although that may be compelling, I'm going to think, what is potential for someone to experience if they overcome it? So the potential once you overcome your fear of being seen is to have video creation feel easy. So even saying that at the beginning of the video, you know, how would it feel to open your phone and be able to click record and know exactly what to say to attract ideal clients on repeat? That would be the outcome of overcoming your fear of being seen, right? And so this takes practice. I mean, I've been doing this for a really long time and I still have to train my brain to not just go, what am I going to say versus what is the outcome of what I'm going to say? And that's how we create really good hooks and that more compelling language that's going to keep someone watching the video.
Can you speak to how you typically do this? Because hooks, as we know, the first
Yeah.
2 sentences out of your mouth are most important. If you can get their buy-in on that, that's best.
Yeah.
How do you typically do that? Are you good enough now or you just hit record or do you write these
Yeah.
down? What does this look like? What does the content creation process around hooks and those kind of things look like for you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, depending on where you're at, it's going to take brain power to it's sort of undoing the way we go, oh, 1 foot forward. Oh, wait, I'm going arm first. You're gonna have to retrain your brain to think about putting the result first. So at the beginning, you're definitely gonna want to be writing this down. I have a video program called Video Magic, and I give a 25 different hooks, and you can take them and insert your result into them, something like that. You can find free resources online too, or my free video marketing course has a number of hooks that you can plug and play. I think plug and play is really helpful at the beginning. For
Mhm.
me, I just pop on, yes. And one though thing that you could take right now, and all of your listeners can take, is this idea of going from and going to somewhere else. And this is how we summarize a transformation. So at the beginning of my videos, I'll often say, I went from playing small, making $30,000 a year to creating a multiple six-figure business. And the thing that held me back, you've probably heard me say something like this. That is me taking my entire transformation and going where I went from and where I went to. And that's what goes at the front of the video.
It really is about clear communication,
Yeah.
being able to summarize this stuff in a couple of sentences, you being clear. And when you're clear, your
Yes.
customers are clear, and it all works out really well. So you should be able to summarize your own transformation in 2 sentences or less. I
Yes.
say this a lot, two
Yes.
sentences or less. And a lot of people can't do that, but this is the practice. These are the reps. This is how you actually are able to make all this stuff effortless, is because you're putting in the reps and you know.
That's right. Absolutely. And there's two phases to that, right? You have to have the clarity to practice. If you're practicing something that's unclear, you're reinforcing negative habits or it's not going to be helpful for you. So you got to have the clarity of what your transformation story is, of what the value is, who it's for, right? Who you're speaking to. This is your niching, your ideal client. When you have that, then we go to practicing. So just to be clear that there's like multiple phases of it.
Yes, definitely, definitely. I love
Mhm.
that. Okay, we have common obstacles, fear of being seen. They don't have a strategy around messaging, understanding hooks,
Mhm.
understanding this kind of thing. Do you have one more obstacle?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's really getting out of your own way and understanding that you are talking to people about them. And it really is an obstacle for a lot of people because video is confronting. There's not much more that's going to be such a mirror in your face of who you are and what you look like and what you're saying and is it good enough? And it's you judging you, but it's it also is not helpful at all. So if I'm opening up my camera going, "All right, I'm gonna do this video," and I'm thinking all about myself, then I am missing the golden opportunity to make it all about my audience. And as you become better and better at video marketing, that is the understanding. It isn't even about you. You aren't talking about you and your message and your offer for you. You're doing it for them and they feel that. I mean, it's a huge shift. And it takes, like you were saying, the practice and the reps to get to where, oh, okay, I feel confident enough now just hitting record and showing up. And now I can really make this about someone else besides myself.
And also, you'll be building an audience along the way and getting to know them even more and their
Yes.
pain points. No, and there's no way to get
Yeah.
there without just doing the reps. There is no
That's right.
shortcut. Yeah, certainly, like maybe for regular people who don't join a program like yours or mine, it would be like you have to do 500 reps to get this info. We can cut
Yeah.
it down to like 200 or something, but you still have to do the reps.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. So when it comes to video marketing, what are some things that we can do daily to actually start getting more consistent with our videos? Is there any tips or tricks you can give us like on a daily action plan?
Yeah. Well, you need to decide first, are you creating videos daily or are you going to use a batching system? So I used to create videos daily, and sometimes I still do, but I created this Content Queen batching system, which is way, way better because you actually could just create videos for 90 minutes twice a month and then have videos. So maybe it's not so much about the everyday. I think it's much more sustainable not to think about every day. Most people aren't even camera ready on a daily basis. So I would say if it's an obstacle to commit to doing it every day, then think about creating a batching system where even if you just create 10 videos and post one a day, that's 2 weeks. So think about how you can make it easier for yourself. And I have plenty of resources if you have more questions around that. It's a whole can of worms, So I say batching is better, but it takes some clarity and some precision to do that.
Yes, batching. Yeah, batching is much better. I agree. Is there do you separate your days into certain batching times? So you have a brainstorming time and a shooting time and an editing time and a posting time? Can you give us an overview of that?
Yeah. So for me, I am a rebel through and through, and I will rebel against my own structure. So I really work with my brain neurodivergence in this. And I know that if, say, for example, I was going to say Mondays are my batching day. I've tried to do that. I will rebel against it. And the worst thing to do as a rebel is to rebel against yourself and then be hard on yourself because of that. That's horrible. That sabotages the whole damn thing. So I think that number one, you have to recognize how do you work with structure, right? Like what works for you and how much structure do you need? So I teach batching as structured as you want it to be. I can help you get it into your freaking phone, exactly everything you're going to say. For me, if you did that, it would never fly. And so I just think it's important to recognize that in general. So I always have an understanding of what I'm going to talk about based on I use 5 different types of content that convert really well. And then I take those and I do 2 videos for each one. And then you have 10 video ideas. Then you can take those ideas and do 10 text on screen to match them. And that's 20 videos. So really understanding how you can just simplify, I think is helpful. Then I end up editing over time. So I don't just have like, I sit down and edit them all because again, I wouldn't do it. I tend to edit them when I'm going to put them out. So I'll just have the raw video and then I'll edit as I'm going to put out. So every day I end up editing. That's just what works for me. It like helps me stay engaged mentally. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean one more time with how well you know yourself and you've built this business so that you can succeed and you know how you're enjoying this and are best like you can
Yes,
best execute. So I just really
you
like
have
I'm
to.
really inspired by that. Yeah, very important. So in terms of video marketing and short form video specifically, where do you see that going? What do you see the future?
Yeah. Well, we know that TikTok is in limbo right now because it was just, I do in quotes, banned. It will be at least a year and a half. If its fate is to get banned, it will be a year and a half to 2 years before that happens after tons of court battles. So I'm not worried about that right now. Short form video is going to stay consistent, at least with how it works on TikTok. And then Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, even YouTube Shorts, they're all following TikTok, right? They didn't have short form video until TikTok made it popular. So they're like 6 months behind TikTok. So we can kind of foreshadow in that way. The things that are working on TikTok are uh, really in depth, nuanced topics work really well on TikTok, and that doesn't work on Facebook and Instagram. So knowing that they're different, I think just helps us understand that the best thing to do, I think, to set yourself up for success is to understand both. So to understand how to do a 60 to 90-second speaking video that gives some trainings and then you can call to action into a freebie. So I want all your speaking videos to be building your list. And then, I mean, even your short form video, your really short form, like trending audios, text on screen, that can also build your list, but those are often more outreach. So those are like broader brand voice message, and those are going to get in front of more people. I think that strategy is going to work well because if, say, TikTok went away and it was only Instagram, maybe they will get more nuanced and longer short form, like 90 seconds will become popular, but maybe not. And you already have a strategy for that. So doing both there's multiple short form video ideas, but if we just keep it with the two, 60 to 90-second speaking video and a under 10-second trending audio text on screen or lifestyle, it's very simple and that will last. That's not going anywhere for a while. I think it's going to stay consistent for at least 2 to 3 years.
For the short form video. Do you
For
feel like
those things
long
being valuable, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
feel like you've seen I mean, I don't really like to follow the trends. I'm like you, I like to keep with the basics. Like you said, this is gonna work because it tells people a little bit about your lifestyle, but you're also educating while doing this call to action. Like, that's just
Yeah.
good marketing, right?
Yeah.
And so, what's your view on I'm sure you've seen long form video on TikTok in landscape mode, like these
Mhm,
kind of
mhm.
ideas. Have you seen these circulating? What's your opinion? Do you ever follow those rabbit holes or you're like, "No, that's just like another idea. I'm just sticking
Yeah.
with the basics here."
If the idea is something that I'm genuinely interested in, then I'll do it because why not ride the train? So for example, TikTok has been pushing out landscape videos when they have the little full screen and you can tilt your phone and watch them. And you will get a lot more views on those. So they'll give you like 20,000 views, usually about 24 hours after you post it. But but the thing is that type of content isn't what people on TikTok want to see. So it doesn't necessarily get a ton more engagement, even though it gets a lot more views. So that to me tells me the culture of TikTok is not going to change overnight just because TikTok is telling you that's where they're going, right?
Right.
Things are going to
Right.
evolve over time. So I would say number one, if it doesn't feel resonant to do those and make them longer, don't do them. It's fine. And if you want to ride that, like I did a 5-part storytelling series and I did all of them sideways. And I thought, oh, this is great. I did a call to action into my freebie. Like it didn't convert at all. And I
Mhm.
even was going to
Mhm.
teach it to my membership. And I was like, sorry, I'm not teaching it. It didn't work because you don't know. And that's the thing. And so a lot of these newer concepts, even if the platform is pushing it, if it aligns with you, I would say do it. And if it doesn't, then wait it out. And if it's still around in 6 months and it's working, you can always hop on then.
Going back to the beginning for you, this is my final question.
Okay.
Back to the beginning for you, what is one thing, you only get one, that you wish you would have known before you got started in your online video marketing journey?
I'm it's so cliche, but the one thing that I would tell myself or wanna know is that if you just keep going, it all is gonna work out and it's gonna build to something so much bigger and more profound and more impact than just this idea of video. Like, that seems so simple. Just open your video, open your camera, shoot a video. So simple, but yesterday I got booked to be a keynote speaker in Florida. I'm getting paid so well that I get to bring my whole family on a week vacation with me. That's so fucking cool. And that is because of video. So I think that I would have wanted to know that there was so much more potential and to just like do the one step at a time, like the advice you're really giving and put the reps in, because it will create something so much more powerful and bigger than you could even imagine.
I love that. I love that. All right, before I let you go, I'm going to turn the time back over to you. Let us know how to find you, anything else you want the audience to know.
Yes. Well, I'm with Jaya Rose on TikTok and Instagram. So, of course, if you want to see some of these things in action that we've been talking about, and I have a free video marketing course that goes through from the fear of being seen, owning your star power, but then also these more tangible strategies of how to post content that is actually going to bring in the right people, and then how to promote your business consistently so you're creating sustainability. And that's all in the free course.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. We really appreciate you being on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Well, there you have it. Another awesome episode of the Millionaire Maker Show with your host, me, Lindsay Anderson. If you enjoyed this show, please go and leave us a review. Thank you so much to everybody who has already left a review. We're here to bring you the truth about what it takes to build a business, the truth about the work and the investment that you actually need to make in order to build a business that will afford you more time, more money, more freedom, and more impact. So thank you for leaving a review to further support us in this mission. Until next time, I am your host, Lindsay Anderson. Cheers to you and your success.
Thank you for listening to the Millionaire Maker Show with online business consultant and creator of the Millionaire Maker Funnel, Lindsay Anderson. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time.